All right. We have a very special guest today on the air. His name is Mark Moroso. He is a practicer of Qigong. Am I saying that correctly?
Yes, that is correct, yes.
And he is a part of MIT's Qigong Club. And he has decided to come on air today with us to tell us all about Qigong and convince all of us to join the club. Is that correct?
Yeah, well, as many as I can get to join the club, hopefully. Well, I want to say thank you, Chris, and thank you, Jenny, for having me on the show.
You're welcome.
I think you guys are awesome. Do a great show.
Thanks.
And I hope we can get the word about Qigong out there, but I'm just excited to be here, so.
Nice. Okay, so tell our listeners, what is Qigong?
Okay, so Qigong, I have a definition from the website, so let's start there.
Okay.
So it's internal Chinese meditative exercise which uses slow, graceful movements in controlled breathing techniques to promote overall health.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's a form of meditation, but it's a standing meditation.
Uh-huh.
So I think when you say meditation, you see like someone with their legs folded and their arms out making the rings.
Yeah.
But this is standing, so all the poses that you do are standing, and you're still standing still. There's slight movement, but it's not meditation in the sense where it looks like you're falling asleep.
Okay.
Right.
But you're meditating while you're standing.
Yes.
Okay.
Essentially.
It's like the old Asian people in the parks, that are just standing there. It's what they're doing, right?
Have you ever seen?
Oh.
Yeah. Have you seen that?
Oh, okay.
Boom. Qigong.
Yeah.
Yeah. You go to the parks and you see it's usually older Chinese people, or and they're doing. They're not moving, but they're moving very slowly, and they have their hands out in front of them, or they obviously have set poses. But they're moving so slow, it doesn't look like they're moving at all.
Yeah.
I just thought they were psychos.
Yeah.
No, you didn't.
Well, they might be. No.
No, I always thought they were like practicing a move just like very slowly. Like I didn't realize
They're
that.
like, I'm just gonna focus on this
Yeah,
move.
exactly. I didn't realize that like
so slow.
That was the purpose of Qigong, was to like actually be slowly moving.
Well, no, I mean that's actually exactly the point. If the contrast when you think about exercise and health, you think go to the gym, move around a lot, cardiovascular, lift weights, but this is a practice that you're not exerting your body, you're really exerting your mental willpower, and it does I don't want to, it doesn't put pain on any joints, but when you're standing in that position, you'll start to feel muscles that you've never felt before because you've never stood that still before. You're always kind of on the move, so it's interesting. You don't really. No one really.
Is it like a physical workout? Like, do you feel like physically exhausted after?
I think in the beginning you feel like maybe the first 20 minutes you're like, wow, I'm really gonna get this Qigong. I'm doing it, and then it's like 25 minutes, 26 minutes. You're like, I can't make it another 34 minutes. That's insane. I can't go that long.
Well,
like physically, it's hard on you doing that.
Yeah, well, you have to relax everything, and you have to stand. The positions that you're standing in, you can't be exerting one muscle more than the other to compensate. You're supposed to, be so relaxed that almost every muscle bears a little bit of the burden, and everything. I don't want to get graphic, but like the intestines and the organs inside of your body are obviously kept wrapped in around muscles and bone. So when you relax your joints, your muscles completely, your intestines and your organs have the ability to loosen up themselves, and sort of it takes pressure off them. And it's an odd concept to think about, but that's basically the idea, is that and then in the terminology is meridians, which is basically energy that runs through your body.
Okay.
Have you heard of that, Jenny?
I have.
You have? Okay, all right. Because when I saw Jenny, she's Chinese, so I was like, Jenny, do you know what Qigong is? And I mean, maybe that's like going to an American and being like, do you know what baseball is? No, it's not like that?
Well, I don't, because I grew up in America, so it's not like, I don't know.
You knew what it was right away, Jenny.
Yeah, I definitely know what it is, yeah. Old people in China are obsessed with Qigong.
As well as they should be. I mean, we live in the West, and I'm not trying to get, all philosophical. I'm not going to start the Karl Marx MIT show or anything like that. Unless that's what you want. No, just kidding. But, we don't have a lot of Eastern ideals, I think, in our Western world.
Yeah. So what's the biggest point of Qigong? Is it like just to be like to hone your like focus so that you learn how to be like really focused for 20 minutes, or I don't know.
That's a good question. Have you? All right. So I have all sorts of. Have you heard of, how do you say this? The Nai Jin is Nai Jing. Have you heard of that?
No.
Oh, come on. I'm just kidding. So that's a medical book that was written 2,000 years ago in China.
Okay.
And the guy who wrote it has this like famous ancient Chinese proverb. I'm all about those because those are quick and easy. You don't have to go into the details or anything. And he basically says, giving someone medicine after they've become ill is like starting to dig a well after you've become thirsty. So the idea behind Qigong is healthy living. It's not, oh, I hurt myself, or, oh, I'm sick, I have to get better. It's you give your body the defenses needed to stay healthy.
Right.
And it works. I'm telling you, it really does work. Because I'm a very physical person. I work construction. I play on a flag football team and a hockey team. I'm always moving around.
Yeah.
And it's very good. It balances your muscles out, and it's great. If anyone's listening, it's really good for athletes. The guy who does it is actually a martial arts fighter. A lot of fighters do it. A lot of older people do it because it doesn't require a lot of physical, extraneous activity. It's more standing. But it's very good for you. So if anyone wants to try it, it's Monday nights from 7 o'clock to 8 o'clock.
Nice.
At Building 5, which is on Mass Ave. And it's across from that statue.
Yeah.
That looks like a man wrapping another man.
Statue,
and so that nice building with the columns as the facade.
Yeah.
Yeah, that building. So Building 5, and it's room 217, and it's free. Come in, it's the second floor on the right-hand side, and there's only, at the most, maybe 12, 13, 14 people, and that's a huge class.
Okay.
And it used to be a lot bigger, so we want people to keep coming because MIT has to keep funding it, so we want people to show up.
Okay, last question. Like, how do you feel after you've practiced Qigong? So how long, the classes are an hour, you said?
Yes, an hour.
Yeah, how long do you feel after that hour of standing completely still?
Really very good.
Really?
Yes.
Physically or mentally?
Both. And,
both?
Yeah, and the harder you try to do it well, because, you can obviously cheat it, like I said, throw your weight and push it off on other muscles so you're not doing it proper or don't breathe properly.
Yeah.
But if you really focus on doing it well, you can tell maybe 10 minutes after you walk out, you don't have as much on your mind as far as, I have to take care of this, I have to take care of this. You're more clear-headed, and your muscles feel good. Your body feels connected. It doesn't feel like, oh, this is my back is separate from everything else, and my back hurts. Everything's just kind of joined and strong.
Yeah. Wait, I just wanted to ask another thing, too.
Yeah.
Okay, in the definition, you said it's slow moving, right?
Yes.
But what you've been saying seems like it's all just still. So, like, what's the...
This is, Chris, that's a great question.
Okay.
It's a great question, and actually, that is a question that I would imagine people would ask after doing a couple sessions or something like that. You are an intuitive, smart guy to ask that question. So that's the idea. Is in these poses, you're never still. You're always slightly moving every sort of muscle in your body, and the point isn't to, like, ground yourself into the ground and be rigor mortis and not move. It's to let your muscles relax and hang off your bones. So you do sway a little bit, and if you get the breathing down, you sort of enter, things move slower. Your breath is moving slower. Your heart is moving slower. Things are different. You kind of start thinking about things, and you're just in a state of mind that you're not usually in because you don't take the time to do absolutely nothing.
So are you eventually trying to minimize motion, or is it like encouraged to like move a little bit?
Well, the idea is the spine needs to straighten, and all the muscles, depending on the pose, but usually straight spine is the idea. Your spine is never straight when you start the pose. You have to be a master to do that. So if you're starting out, or even a couple of years in, you do the pose, and the more that you perfect it, and I would say do what's appropriate in the pose, your body sort of takes you to that place. And like I said earlier, your tailbone tucks down, and your shoulders kind of drop, and your tummy sinks in, and your spine becomes straight. So you're always kind of moving closer and closer to completely straight spine. So I guess it's kind of difficult to explain, but
you
gotta come down and try it.
Yeah, we'll have to do that. All right, Mark.
Yes.
Qigong.
Qigong, yes. Are we good? We got the mics working?
Yes.
Okay,
it makes sense.
That's good.
Okay, so I'm gonna bring out my inner nerd here and ask you about science,
I think
Qigong science.
And I want to say this in a nice way, Jen. I'm not trying to offend you, but I think your inner nerd is pretty extroverted.
Okay. That's fine with me.
Yeah. I think she's a nerd.
I mean,
yeah, of course.
But that's cool. That's okay. Smart people, they give us iPhones, so.
Yeah, exactly. All right, so here's my question.
A-bombs.
Exactly.
So, from a science point of view, right, what I've learned about meditation, which I don't know, I don't know that much about, I've just read a little bit about it, is that, so we have, the idea of meditation is that we have our sympathetic nervous system, which is all of our nerves that control our muscles, and like everything, like when you want to, like, you know, go reach for a water bottle, you can tell, your brain can tell your muscles to go do that, and we kind of like consciously control that in a way, right? And then we have what's called the parasympathetic nervous system, which controls all these things that we don't think about, like breathing, our eyes dilating, like our intestine moving the food through, like all of that is controlled by nerves also, right? So what I've learned about meditation is that the idea is to be able to have more control over your parasympathetic nervous system, over like your heart rate and your blood pressure and your digestive system and all that stuff. And I was just wondering if you like noticed any difference in that stuff after doing Qigong.
Well, you know, to be truthful, I want to, full disclosure, I am an amateur at Qigong. I've been doing it for about a year.
Okay.
And you're supposed to do it for like 40 years to get a little respect.
Like sushi?
What sushi? What's that? Like
it
eating
takes
sushi?
forever to be a master chef.
Oh, no, I didn't know that, but yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just like sushi. Okay. Well, let me ask you this: have you ever heard of like an ancient monk? Some of these monks. I don't have any names of these monks, but they can slow their heart rate.
Yeah.
Completely slow their heart rate.
Right, I've heard that.
And that's you would agree that, you know, your heartbeat is not a muscle that you can flex and, you know, slow down or speed up at your will.
Right.
Like you could pump your legs, or you could, you know, curl weights at the gym or something like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that people that become masters at this, and I'm not a scientist, and I don't claim to be a scientist, but I do think that that's exactly what you're talking about, those muscles that you don't even think about or even know exist, or really, I guess, they're controlled almost off function and memory.
Yeah.
I think it relaxes them, and or relaxes the muscles around them, which gives them the ability to expand. And it definitely, you know, I said earlier, you feel connected, but that's part of it, is that all those small things connect into the big things, and you feel like a wicker basket, like woven. Everything is woven together, if you will. It's very strong
very
throughout.
deep.
So you start to feel small, little subtle muscles and little tiny movements, and you know, if you're doing it right, those movements will allow your spine to straighten, or your back to drop, and that's the whole point, is to stretch your back out and your spine out. And so, yes.
So you do feel like...
Yes, feel very good when you leave. You feel very connected, and you feel like mush. You feel like, you know, you feel good. You feel like you just got a big massage or something.
You're selling the Qigong pretty well,
tension.
Mark.
It releases tension.
Yeah, I gotta try it.
But you have to work hard to get there. And my buddy Phil Penatescu, who is sort of a guru to both of us, wouldn't you say, Chris?
A what?
A guru.
Yeah, sure.
He introduced it to me, and the first day that we went to, he said to me, "Dude," he's like, "it's just a little bit of suffering, and then you feel so great." So that's what I thought, is if you can suffer for an hour, you're gonna feel good. You're gonna go to bed. You're gonna feel great. It's gonna be a great night. So
now, like, how many different poses are there? Is it just one, or?
There are very basic poses. The first one being the post, and there are tons of poses. There are side body poses where you're on one foot, all your weight is on one foot, and then you switch to the other side body. There are slow, faster moving poses than others. There are poses where you're completely twisted around, your body's sort of contorted, but never to the point of discomfort or inability to balance. But you would sort of have your feet one way and your torso twisted the other way to sort of wring your spine out, like a when you wash the floor with like a rag or something like that. You wring it out. Like, that's the idea. The image you try to create. So yeah, there's a lot of poses. Like I said, I'm an amateur, so I probably know 2%.
What does it take to be a master Qigong? Do you know?
Yeah, well, this guy, our teacher Jim, he says 1 year to completely erase the bad habits of your body, and then about 2 before you start to gain some control of your energy flow and meridians and muscles, and like you were saying, the small subtle controls.
Yeah.
It takes about 2 to 3 years.
Wow.
Before you get there. Yeah. So
that's doing that like once a week.
They say 20 minutes a day.
Of moving very slowly.
Pick a pose and go with it. 20 minutes a day. Do something different if you get bored.
Wow.
Yeah. Wow.
Do you ever get nervous that you're like so relaxed and like so mushy that you just like lose control of your bodily functions?
Yes, that can happen. We had an incident where a woman in the class actually fell down, And I've been there too. You actually forget where you are sometimes if you really get into it. And your mind, so you start sort of tunneling into your mind rather than looking around at what's going on outside of you. And then all of a sudden you're falling to the ground. And actually, the worst case I saw is I did see someone urinate in class. That did happen.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
That's so embarrassing.
I know, it's embarrassing, and maybe it's not the best promoter for Qigong, but you know, this was an older person, but you know, you can get, if you're older and you're
so you don't know, they might have done that
they
without
could have done that on their own. Yeah.
That's true. Yeah.
You see some funny things in Qigong, I guess.
Now, a very serious question.
Yes.
Anyone ever farted in Qigong?
Fart in Qigong? No. I think if anyone would fart in Qigong, I would probably be the number one candidate for that. So I haven't done that yet. So no, I don't know. I think that's more of a yoga thing.
I think this is Chris's third fart question on this show, by the way.
Like completely?
Or like fart /
on this
poop.
show or just shows in general?
Just like the Misconnection show.
Wow, you are
totally
really restrained with the farts.
I asked about that. Okay. Jenny, you're just trying to embarrass me.
That's not true. We had an ultra marathoner on, and he was asking her about doing that.
I didn't ask that.
Oh,
I think she
thought...
just said that.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
Wow.
I remembered incorrectly.
It's an important subject. You shouldn't, you know, it's not immature. It's important, right, Chris?
Yeah. Very important.
Okay, let's play some more music.
Whoa. We gotta do some misconnection stuff.
No, I thought we were going to do that after we play more music.
All at the end?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Wait, before we go to music, I just want to say something really quick. So I posted on, Craigslist under groups, a Qigong group. So
awesome.
I don't do Qigong enough to do it one day a week. So it's there. Check it out. If anyone wants to get together and do some Qigong, it's a little weird. You got to be a little open-minded. I understand that. It's not for everybody. But if anyone's interested, it's out there. So.
All right.
We're here with Mark, who's talking to us about Qigong.
What is up?
How's it going?
What's going on? Yeah, so Qigong. I just want to say one more time. Monday nights, 7 o'clock to 8 o'clock. It's Building 5, room 217. If we're not in there, just look down the hall. It's usually a couple doors down if you get kicked out of there. Monday, 7 to 8, Building 5, room 217. Come on down, challenge yourself.
All right, I'm there.
There it is. There's my Qigong.